What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Labor Day Sunday edition of the NS9 Postgame show powered by Primanti Brothers. I'm Jim. With me is Tyler. Tyler, Pirates lose 6-1. They lose another series to Cleveland. Not a lot of good baseball happening today.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of losing to Cleveland. I don't like Cleveland. Like, can we lose any other series other than the Cleveland series? I don't want their fans to ever be happy. At least they have football season coming up so they can be unhappy again.
Yeah, I think we're going to lose a lot of series, actually, not just this one. So I don't know if we can pick and choose. I don't think we can pick and choose which series we win or lose from this point forward, Tyler. But yeah, not a great game, just not a great showing. Alex Cobb coming off of an injury, having a somewhat mediocre season. He had a perfect game through 6 in this one. So yeah, not a great game at all. We'll get into it. Before we do, let me tell you about Bet Online. It is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. Bet Online is every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. Think you know your stuff? Get in on our $200,000 mega contest and pick 5 games against the spread every week for your chance at weekly prizes and share of $200,000. When the game's over, head on over to the online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Bet Online. The game starts here. This game didn't start off very well at all. Like I said, Alex Cobb, perfect through 6, so the Pirates offense wasn't doing anything. In Cleveland, got on the board right away in the first inning. Keller was able to strike out Stephen Kwan to kind of start things off, but then second batter of the game, Andres Jimenez, home run, gets the Cleveland Guardians on the board, 1-0, off of a cutter. If we want to kind of talk about Mitch Keller and his cutter a little bit right here, at this point in time, I went to go look. 1/3 of Mitch Keller's home runs this season have come off of his cutter. It's a pitch he throws 12% of the time. 33% of home runs have been hit off of that cutter. You're the pitching Yinza, Tyler. What does that tell us?
It's a recurring theme, though, isn't it? Like, I feel like we bring up the cutter all the time, and he just continues to throw the cutter. And a lot of it's going to depend on matchups. You see righties, I mean, you see lefties, and he's got to throw the cutter a little bit more. I don't know. I hate the pitch. It doesn't work for him. It really has never worked for him. It's kind of, I guess, one of those things that he just throws to keep him off balance and prays they don't hit it, because he has to know it doesn't work. Like, everyone knows it doesn't work, but he just has to show it. And unfortunately, when he doesn't locate it, it gets crushed.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I'd have to dig deeper into the numbers as to, like, what's the exact reason for that breakdown. I think there's value in a pitcher like Keller having a cutter, right? Like Keller's someone who can rack up strikeouts if that's kind of what he's trying to do. But that's not really his game. His game really is kind of keeping you off balance, soft contact. He can get the strikeout when needed. And I think when it comes to left-handed hitters in particular, if you're a righty starter, the cutter can be a useful weapon for you. It's kind of your one way to really counter that, really aggressive lefty hitter who's maybe chasing your off-speed stuff, or he's chasing your fastball. Like that cutter, if you're locating it and you get it in on the hands enough, it's going to tie batters up. It's going to create weak contact. But yeah, I'd have to really kind of dive in on these cutters. Like, is he just not locating them? Is it just a bad pitch in general? My guess is it's probably a location issue. Like he's probably just not getting that cutter in enough on those lefties. But yeah, definitely a problem pitch for him so far this season.
Yeah, and I think it also doesn't help that when he's successful, he's up in the zone, he's able to locate at the top. The cutter really isn't going to play up there too well, especially when he leaves it dead middle.
Yeah,
like you said, he's just not able to get it in on the hands. And really, it wasn't even just the cutter today. Like he didn't have it the first couple innings. And that's starting to also become a recurring theme here where every maybe fourth or fifth start Mitch Keller comes out, he takes a good 3-4 innings to at least look like his normal self. And we're talking velocity wise. Like it's not command really. The velocity way down early.
Velocity was down today. Yeah, and I said command was down today too. But yeah, velo down across the board. All 6 pitches he threw were down at about a tick from his season average. So not something you necessarily want to see from him. In the Discord, there were a lot of people kind of going in on Keller and saying like maybe he's just not that good. And it's like, guys, not everybody is good all the time. Like Mitch Keller is a very good major league starting pitcher. I want to make sure people realize this. Like he's going to throw 200 innings. He's going to have an above average ERA for a major league pitcher. He's an incredibly useful guy to have on your team. Sometimes he's just not going to have it. And he didn't have it early on today. He didn't really have it kind of throughout the game. He allowed a lot of base runners. I think 11 hits he gave up. He was actually really lucky. He gave up 3 homers. All of them were solo shots, which, I mean, he gave up 11 hits and a hit by pitch. So the fact that he was able to keep those homers to just solo shots definitely helped his line a little bit. He ended up 5 1/3 innings, 4 runs, 3 of which were earned, 7 strikeouts, those 11 hits, 3 homers. But yeah, wasn't his best start. He's definitely someone who down the stretch you want to kind of see him finish the year strong, because this is something we kind of saw this last year too, where he sort of just faded a little bit down the stretch. It's not that he wasn't useful by any means. You just saw him fade a little bit, and you want to see if he can maybe pitch and kind of finish strong this year. That would just lend you to feel a lot better going into next year, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm going back to it again because I feel like I've mentioned it. Every month we have one of these outings with Mitch Keller where the velocity comes out and he's down. I freak out thinking that it's an injury issue, and I'm freaking out that the Pirates are leaving him out there. I don't know if it's fatigue setting in at this point. I don't know if it's mechanical stuff. I don't know, but there's something he has to figure out because you can't do this every month where you just don't look like your normal self at all.
Yeah, I'm not going to overreact because I think Mitch Keller has shown us over the course of the last 2+ seasons that he deserves a little bit of trust among us and the team. I mean, you look at this season overall, the Pirates, even after today, they're 17-10 when Mitch Keller starts. This is a team that is now, after today, 10 games below 500. They're 17-10 when Mitch Keller starts. So, guys, he's really good. The Pirates are lucky to have him. Let's kind of like take a deep breath here. He's a good pitcher, right? I just want to make sure we say that. It's just he didn't have it today, and you're gonna have that. You do want to see him bounce back from it, though.
Yeah, he is a good pitcher. I'm not saying otherwise. Just some things I want to see cleaned up here, and he's gonna have a good offseason. I feel like there are things that I think he knows to work on, and he will work on them.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, I mean that kind of started the scoring. There was that home run. They were able to add on the Guardians, Jhonkensy Noel, who had a really good series. I feel like he kind of destroyed the ball all weekend. He gets an RBI double. That was really only because of a Henry Davis passed ball in the first that allowed that run to score. Then Keller settled in a little bit. Second inning scoreless, third inning scoreless, but then gives up a home run to Kyle Manzardo in the fourth. Gives up another homer to Kyle Manzardo in the sixth. Those are Kyle Manzardo's first 2 major league homers, both off of Mitch Keller. he was struggling this year, but if you're into like prospects and all that, you've heard of Kyle Manzardo's name. He's been a top prospect for a few years now. Went to Cleveland in a trade with Tampa Bay. So yeah, it's his first couple homers, but I think Manzardo was probably due for those.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have a bat like that coming up.
Yeah, it would be.
Just a bad day, man. Just a bad day all around.
It was a rough day. It was a rough day. I'm trying to find some silver lining.
I know it's hard.
Yeah.
You know what great. I thought the silver lining was going to be was Ryan Borucki. For some reason, I just thought he was going to come back. We're going to see the King Borucki we saw last year that I got trashed for, and instead we saw the Borucki that I didn't like.
It started off well with Borucki. He came in with runners on first and third, 1 out, and he was able to get a double play thanks to a pop up right back up to him. He was able to get the run at third. Outside that, though, he came back out for like a second inning of work, and that went poorly. Kyle Nicholas, though, relieved him, and he didn't look all that great either. It was a rough day all around. I guess if there was one positive on the pitching side of things, David Bednar got some work in today, and he didn't give up a hit.
Had a base runner.
He gave up a walk. Yeah, he walked somebody. He didn't give up a hit. I was going to leave that part off.
I mean, I don't know if he looked like normal David Bednar or anything like that, but the curveball he threw looked pretty good, I think. And I'm trying here, man. I'm trying.
He threw that one pretty good pitch, I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, that one curveball that they didn't call a strike was really good.
This is where we're at here.
I don't know. I don't know what else was positive.
The Pirates, they pitched a 2-hitter yesterday. They get 2-hit today. Kiner Falefa breaks up the perfect game in the 7th inning. I thought he was going to second game in a row. The Pirates comebacker right back to a Cleveland pitcher and hits him. But that was how the perfect game ended, was a comebacker to Alex Cobb. And then Brian Reynolds followed it up with a second hit. And then you're like, gosh, we're rolling here. We are rolling. 2 hits in a row. And at that point, too, it was still a game. I mean, it was a 4-0 game, 2 runners on. O'Neal Cruz coming up. He ends up grounding into a fielder's choice. But then the Pirates do score. They scored a run. Thanks to Austin Hedges throwing error, trying to throw out O'Neal Cruz. Cruz does get his 20th stolen base of the season. So I guess if there's a silver lining here, Cruz got stolen base number 20. Austin Hedges committed an error. Those are the 2 best things that happened today.
Yeah. I guess IKF didn't have a bad day at the plate, at least. I mean, no. He had good at bats. Aggressive base running there by Cruz. I like running in that situation. You get a run out of it, and then really the Pirates were still heavily in that ballgame. They had 2 runners on. I think it was Tellez up in a 3-run game. I mean, they had a shot. Just once you aren't able to extend that inning, it was over.
Yeah, I mean, even Tellez walked there, so you ended up having
De La Cruz was.
Yeah, so you had bases loaded. Like you had bases loaded there in the 7th with Brian De La Cruz up to bat, and he grounds into a fielder's choice. Oh, it wasn't bases loaded. It was first and second at that point.
Okay, it was first and second with De La Cruz up.
Yeah, that's first and second. De La Cruz up, 4-1 game, tying run at the plate.
And that's why you bring in De La Cruz.
So there you go. Like Paul says here, the silver lining is at one point the Pirates brought the tying run to the plate.
We're trying, guys.
Oh man, that was a rough game. It was a well played game yesterday. I thought the Pirates played well yesterday, and then you come back today and you just lay an absolute stinker. The offense set the tone here. They weren't going to do anything today with the way they were hitting. Not only was Alex Cobb perfect through 6, but he didn't allow a ball out of the infield until Henry Davis flew out to center to end the 6th inning. So at one point in time, 17 up, 17 down. Cleveland could have gone 5 2/3 innings today with just keeping their outfielders in the dugout. You know what, outfielders, we don't need you. You know that Satchel Paige story where Satchel Paige is kind of just like bringing his fielders in, like as he's striking people out. Cleveland could have done that today. They could have just been like, outfielders, take a half a day off. We're good.
Yeah, it was just, it was bad. They were bad at bats. If I'm going to compliment Alex Cobb, I don't think he looked magnificent or anything, but I thought he located really well. He caught the corners really well today. His stuff wasn't great or anything, but he kept the Pirates off balance, and they had no answer.
Yeah. I think you got to give a little bit of credit to Cobb because I did think he looked good. Like he looked really good. He was locating his pitches. Like he was throwing his pitches exactly where he wanted to. He was keeping hitters off balance. He was locating his breaking ball, which was very helpful. His two-seamer was dancing around there a bit. It's definitely fooled Cruz a couple times in the first inning. So yeah, Alex Cobb looked good. There's a reason why Alex Cobb is still collecting paychecks at age 36 or whatever he is. I think he's been in the major leagues for a long time. Like he's good. You know, he's been in the majors since 2011. This is his 13th season. But at the same time, you hope you could muster something
it's Alex Cobb.
Against him. Yeah, it's Alex Cobb, right? Like there's nothing special about the dude.
Like the two-seamer had good run on it today, but it ran to the middle of the plate. And the Pirates just did not swing the bat. It's bad, man. It was just a bad day all around. And I hope you can bounce back from it, I guess, and start to see some positives.
Yeah. There's not really too many positives right now. The one positive I get, I mean, Oneil Cruz is playing well. Led the league in led all of Major League Baseball in batting average for the month of August. So, you know, we got that to hang our hat on. But it's just so many things are going wrong for this team right now. You have Ben Cherington going on the radio today admitting that, like, hey, maybe we messed up bringing up our first overall pick last year and throwing him into right field where he obviously had no idea what he was doing. So, yeah, we had that quote today. But yeah, this was bad. I think too, and I want to touch on this. I feel like when 10 games under 500 into the month of September, we're Pirates fans, right? We're used to this. We're used to being completely out of this in September. I think most years, though, there's something about September where it allows you to get excited about the following season because you're looking at players maybe for the first time who could help you down the road. I think that's what there just seems to be something off about this September because we're not seeing that. Like there's no one on this team right now where it's like, oh man, you know what? I'm really looking forward to seeing this guy because I haven't seen him yet. And I want to see if he can do something. Like rosters expanded today from 26 to 28. And what did the Pirates do? They activated Ryan Borucki and Colin Holderman. They did that. That was a choice that they made was, you know what? We're going to continue to roster people like Domingo Germán, right? We're just going to add these other relievers. And no, we're not going to see what we have in Nick York, who homered today, by the way, or Billy Cook, who we acquired at the deadline to possibly see what's there. I think that's just like what's most frustrating to me at this point is I don't want to see half of these guys right now. If the season's over, which it is, why do we continue giving playing time and innings and at bats to some of these guys that I don't need to see them anymore?
Yeah. I don't need to see Michael A. Taylor anymore.
And
the strange thing about it is like York and Cook both, they're not really big time prospects. So it's not like you're really worried about burning service time or trying to hold these guys for some sort of deadline next year. No, just see what you have in them and at least get an idea going into the offseason. What do we have to address on this team? And I don't know if you're going to get a full on answer, but you'll at least have an idea.
Yeah. Like I think right now, like especially Billy Cook, Nick York, you've got to add them to the 40 man. You need to figure out if you can expect anything from either of those guys. That's what I'm not understanding. Like, because those two players are playing positions that you need to address over the offseason. The Pirates need to address the positions that those two guys in particular are playing. So why are we giving at bats to guys that we already know who they are? We already know who they are. Let's see what we have in here, because guess what? If you call up Billy Cook and Billy Cook goes 2 for 48, all right, we can't count on Billy Cook for anything next year, right? So that's just my thing, is you got to give these players a chance to show you if you can rely on them or not, because there's no reason to give anyone on an expiring contract any playing time at this point.
None. And it's not even just those guys, to be honest. There are guys up here right now that should not be up here right now. Send them back down and let them get at bats at the AAA level, like a Jared Triolo. And then maybe
I'd rather give me Nick York over Jared Triolo right now.
Nick York has nothing more to show in AAA right now. Jared Triolo might need a little bit of a reset.
Yeah.
You can't be this bad and just continue to employ the same people.
What's the definition of
insanity?
Insanity, doing the same thing over and over again. That's what this team's doing. Just trotting out the same people day in and day out.
Why do we need to see Billy McKinney ever? I like Billy McKinney. Why do we need to see Billy McKinney?
There's the move right there. Sherrod, DFA, Taylor, McKinney, call up York and Cook. There's your move. You don't need those two anymore. They're gonna be gone in 5 weeks anyways. Just let them take their vacations a little bit early. Take their families on a nice September vacation, maybe a surprise vacation they weren't planning on doing, and see what the guys who could potentially, and I'm not saying Cook or York are answers to anything that this team has, but why not figure it out, or at least try? That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah. It was our argument with Diego Castillo a couple years ago. We didn't need to see the Josh Van Meters of the world. Diego Castillo obviously turned out to not be very good, but we found out. I don't know. Such is life in September as a Pittsburgh Pirates fan.
Yeah. I mean, even he's not playing all that well, but I'd rather see Mike Burrows get September innings than Domingo Germán. Call up these guys who, Mike Burrows is taking up a 40-man spot.
Yeah.
Can Mike Burrows give you anything out of the bullpen? I don't know. Let's try it.
Let's find out.
Domingo Germán is not coming back next year.
God,
maybe Burrows is. Oh God, yeah, I hope not. I don't know. It's rough. Hell, I wouldn't even mind. He hasn't had a great season down there, but he has been playing well of late. Even someone like Liover Peguero.
We haven't seen him at all.
Haven't seen him at all this year. And again, I don't think Liover Peguero is an answer to anything. So I want to make myself clear here. But we know these guys they keep trotting out are not.
Yeah, and I mean, back to the Michael A. Taylor point. If you're gonna go both feet in with O'Neal Cruz in center field, I really don't need Michael A. Taylor here. I don't want him taking away opportunities. If we're gonna do this, let's just cannonball into it.
Pirates are 5th right now in the MLB draft lottery odds, by the way.
There we go, baby.
And looking at the chart here, number 4 is very much in play. Pirates are a game and a half ahead of the Nationals. So they could catch up there. I don't think they could sneak higher than 4th best odds, but 4th best odds is surely on the table for the Pirates.
Those odds.
Yeah, currently right now, 7.48% chance at the first overall pick.
This is just a couple guys chatting at this point, but how many more years can they lose before they get booted out of that lottery thingy?
So you can't do it 3 years in a row.
So is this the 3rd year?
So they've had it once. They've had it. I think it's No, because last year I think they fell out of it.
Okay, did they? I couldn't remember.
So this year it like resets the clock.
A lot of it last year.
Okay. I think it's like top 6 or whatever is what.
Yeah, I couldn't remember what the cutoff was and
yeah.
where it began.
Yeah.
All right, so if we reset, oh yeah, baby, we got 3 more years of lottery.
So picks 1 through 6 are the lottery picks. If you are receiving revenue sharing, you cannot be selected in the lottery more than 2 years in a row. So they had number 1, then they dropped out. They went to number 7 last year.
Got lucky.
Now they're reset. So Ben Cherington, hell, if he wants to, he can tank 1 more year.
Yeah.
He can take advantage of that. That's just music to Ben Cherington's ears.
Man, they lucked out last year because they wouldn't be in the lottery this year. That would suck.
At this point, let's just play for 2026.
Yeah, why not?
God. This is awful. I'm done. Are you done talking about this game? It was such a bad game.
Jim, I think everybody's done. You could tell on Twitter. Nobody's talking about the Pirates right now. It's Labor Day weekend. Everyone's outside.
Yeah, everyone, if you're listening to us or watching us, you're a sicko. But we appreciate you. Have a good Labor Day weekend. Tomorrow, hey, you know what? It's an off day. It's Labor Day. The Pirates do have a night game. But Donardo and I will have Starbucks in the morning. I'll let you know if it's like on time since like we don't have to go into work tomorrow. It may not be at 7, but it might be a little bit later. Let us sleep in a little bit. But we will have Starbucks tomorrow. Plenty to talk about there. And then we'll be back with another post-game show. We got the Cubs series coming up after this, I believe. Yep. Tomorrow at Chicago, Jared Jones versus Jameson Taillon. So,
hey, there's something to look forward to. Jared Jones.
Pirates lose 6-1. They're 63-73 on the year. Thank you, Austin Hedges, for letting us not get shut out. That's all I got.
Yeah.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Like
the video, subscribe to the page. Have a good weekend. See you guys.
Hey, you all. Thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.